next Buffy, the Beast is a beauty.
She's making a monster. What for? What does it do?
With the power to destroy the Chosen One.
This chick creamed you last time.
But it isn't Buffy she's come for.
It knows.
An all-new Buffy.
Hello, good morning, Vietnam, and thank you for joining us this week on Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
And this week we will be Vietnaming into Season 5, Episode 8, Shadow, parentheses,
Yes.
Vietnam.
Yes, we will be undeclaring it. And
We will be fighting in it undeclared.
yes, we will be going to undeclared war with shadows.
Canceled again.
Oh, canceled
boy.
again.
Yep.
So how you doing, Jeremy? How you been?
It's brother. It has been, woo! It's been ages.
Yes, it has been.
So should we make the announcement that we both have inoperable cancer,
I think we should.
and we're gonna have to end? Yes.
And we're both going to Sweden for assisted suicide.
Assisted suicide. Exactly. I knew exactly where you were going when you said Sweden. That's.
I mean, we've been doing this a long time, so.
Yeah. No, but how are you? It's been a like, what, 20, 30 minutes?
It's been like 30 minutes. Yeah. I see you got yourself another chocolate milk.
I refilled. Now, just a peek behind the curtain, ladies and gentlemen. I usually have 2 drinks with me per recording. I like to have my chocolate milk because that's kind of like my opium, right? My drug. And then I usually always have a nice, refreshing, some type of a sugar-free fruit beverage, we'll call it. In this case, it is Tropical Punch Kool-Aid.
Very nice. Very nice.
I like to have that to cleanse the palate, especially if I partake in one of my Smarties candies.
All right, then.
No one cares, but I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Last week we did 30 minutes on absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
So
just random, absolute horseshit. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't even matter at this point. So
No one's watching.
But that being said, we should probably dive into this week's episode a little bit quicker than we did last week. What do you think?
I don't know, because we haven't even gotten to how you're doing.
Oh, that's true. I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah. Refilled my my Circle water bottle.
Yes. And that, I'll have everyone know, that is a limited edition Walmart exclusive Stanley tumbler
Style.
Circle.
Exactly. Yep.
So that ain't
And,
just a Circle bottle right there, boys and girls.
And I got the black cherry sip in there. So yeah, it's good. I'm good. I'm doing well. Everything's been eyeballing the shelf behind me, thinking of switching it up a little bit. I'm not sure. What we'll put there.
I like the Princess Bride. I don't want to see them go.
I do too, but man, I've got. Where is he? Hold on a minute. Hold on. Sorry. I didn't come prepared. I didn't know there was going to be show and tell, but that's okay.
I am Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yeah, I like the Princess Bride too, and those figures, I'm very fond of those figures. They mean a lot to me. But I've also got, I've got Buffy and Angel back there. They're obviously going to stay for the duration.
They're hard for me to see.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Well, but yeah, they're back there. But then I've got He-Man and Battle Cat.
Yes.
So then, of course, you should also have Skeletor and Panther.
Well, and there's one very important character you're missing from that ensemble.
Orko?
Orko.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get rid of Buffy and Angel and put Skeletor up there and have a He-Man Princess Bride display for a little while, and then of course Batman over here.
He can't be seen.
Well, I can see him. That's all that matters.
Okay, all right.
Batman, right there. He's hanging from a little. He's hanging from a little clip right over there. You really can't see Buffy and Angel? Here, let me.
No. Okay, I can. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see
my
Buffy.
fireplace.
I can always see Buffy, but Angel's kind of cut off.
Oh.
And then there's a little black screen when we're recording that goes over in the middle, and it's like blocks those two.
Oh. Gotcha. So anyway, yeah, that's how I'm doing, and yeah, so yeah, that's about it. It's good talking to you. See you next week.
We'll see each other next week. Why don't you toy us up some some dates and deets for this week's episode, Shadow?
Nah, I don't think so.
Fair enough. I'll catch you next week. This has been
as previously stated, we are going in undeclared to this week's episode, the 8th episode of our 5th season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the 86th episode of the series overall, Shadow. Written by David Fury and directed by Daniel Attias. Our original broadcast date was November 21st, 2000 on the now defunct WB network. Our cast, as always, includes Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy, Nicholas Brendan as Xander, Allison Hannigan as Willow, Mark Blucas as Riley, Emma Caulfield as Anya, put that sign down, Michelle Trachtenberg as Dawn, James Marsters, that's just Jeremy, James Marsters as Spike, and Anthony Stewart Head as Giles. Our guest stars this week include Claire Kramer as Glory, Charlie Weber as Ben, Kevin Weissman as Dreg, William Forward as Dr. Isaacs, Amber Benson as Tara, Christine Sutherland as Joyce, and Megan Gray as Sandy. Our Nielsen rating for this episode, 3.9. Wait, no, 3.2, sorry. 3.2, ranking it 85th out of the 129 network shows airing in prime time that week, and a jump up to number 2 out of the 17 primetime shows airing on the CW that week.
Something must have been running a rerun.
Probably it's probably Gilmore Girls or something.
Gilmore Hooers. Did you know that Gilmore Girls is actually a cover show? They're actually hookers.
I've never watched it, so no. But maybe I will now, though, because Lauren,
their mother and daughter Hooers.
But maybe I will watch it now because Lauren Graham. I mean, she had it going on.
I don't know who that is.
The mom on Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
My synopsis this week reads: Buffy must shield her sister from harm when the demon Glory evokes a hideous beast to help find the key.
Well, in keeping with last week's thing, let me call in our new watcher for Tammy, yet unnamed. And he will read my synopses for this week.
Okay.
Come on over. Yeah. There. Come on. There you go. Go ahead, buddy. Glory transforms a snake into a terrifying monster in her quest to find the key. Joyce is hospitalized after being diagnosed with an illness. Good boy. Good guy. Good guy. Good guy. All right, fuck off. Get out of here. Okay. All right, it's just us.
Okay. Yeah. So in the tradition of bringing in Tammy's new watcher, I've asked Tammy to do our cold open for us. So,
Okay.
So, Tammy, if you would. Of course, sweetheart, anything for you. So we open up and Joyce, she's getting a CAT scan at Sunnydale Memorial, and Buffy and Dawn are all worried, waiting for the updates about that. So then we go to the magic box, and Giles, speaking of that Giles, I wish he was my watcher, huh? That guy, what a daddy he is, huh? Nothing against you, boo-boo. You're good, too. I love you, okay? But Giles, he's there, and he and Tara, they're looking at their advertisement for the magic shop. And Anya's disappointed because she's not personally mentioned in it. And Xander, he's complaining about Riley getting all soldiery on that vampire crypt last week when he just went and blew it up on his own. And then they're all getting back into research mode, trying to find out about this beast thing that's trying to find the key. And then Giles, he's sides with Xander, and he's all like, yeah, Riley was reckless. And then Anya, she's grateful, though, because she really didn't want to have to go through a massacre in the morning, which I don't blame the girl for, really. Yeah. So, and then we cut to this, like, really fabulous apartment. And there's this demon there, and his name is Drag. And he offers this cute little girl, you all seen her before a few episodes ago, just tossing the sleigh around like she was nothing, a spell. And he calls her Glorificus. And she says that she likes to be called Glory. And this is actually the first time we learn her name in the series. And then this drag minion guy, he's like totally into her, just groveling and tossing all kinds of sweet nothings at her while she's trying on her fancy shoes. I never had fancy shoes like that. I grew up in a trailer park, and I've never really had anything fancy, you know, but those is nice shoes. And then this minion promises her that the spell's going to work to help find the key, and she just needs some supplies, at which point she opens the phone book, and what does she see? Jeremy, do you remember what she saw?
Big penis.
She saw a big old dick right there in the phone book. Who would have thought, right? But it's there. It's right there. No, you silly little goose. She saw an advertisement, that advertisement for the magic box, and then she rips it out. And that's our cold open.
It is indeed. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're quite welcome, boo-boo. Love you. Love the work you're doing. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you.
Boy, is just between me and you. Is she a meth head?
She might be on the crystal. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking the same thing. So, but I want
literally everyone stopped listening.
Wait, are you saying that our audience is put off by the fact that they are also meth heads and we're making fun of that?
No, they stopped listening long before we got to the meth head thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like around the time I said Tammy was going to read the cold open for us, they were like, nah.
So we cut to the buffer's home, and Riley is arriving, and he notices the door slightly ajar. So he's like,
slightly ajar. You could have.
I'm out.
He's like, peace. You could have driven a small Chevy through the way that door was open.
He's like, I'm not getting raped in here. I'm fucking out.
He's like, I was in the military.
I know what it means when a door is open. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. No, so he goes on in, and as he steps inside, he sees a blanket on the floor, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he's hearing some racket coming from the upstairs domain. So, being the weird guy that he is, he decides to investigate instead of being like, "Fuck this, I ain't getting raped." Deuces. He goes on up there, and who do we see but Spike standing in Buffy's room, sniffing her underwear, or sweater, same thing. Because you know that's what the real Spike would be doing. Come on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he's smelling her sweater, and fucking Riley's like, really, bro? And Spike's like, hey, I don't, listen, I don't come to your weird storefront studio apartment and bust in on you when you're fucking trying to rub one out. What the hell? And Riley's like, okay, fair enough, but you're at Buffy's house in her bedroom sniffing her clothes, and she's my girlfriend. And he's like, fuck, man. Fair enough. All right.
You got me, bro.
You got me there. I don't really have a comeback. And no, but they end up heading downstairs, and they're still kind of going back and forth. And, Spike is trying to get under his skin by, oh, she likes me more than she likes you. Cause, did you ever wonder why she didn't take my name off the list of invitees of vampires into here? And he's like, well, yeah, it's because you're fucking harmless. And Spike's like, no, it's because we're lovers. Lovers.
Right. And then Spike's like, she talks to me like lovers do.
And then, for no reason at all, fucking Riley busts out, and he's like, a kiss from a rose. I wanna ooh. It's like, what is this, fucking Batman?
Right. And we're like, what the hell is going on here?
Really weird. Really weird. And no, so then he's like, well, so Spike's like, well, she didn't even bother to tell you that, that she's at the hospital and, blah, blah, blah with her because her mom's sick and yada, yada. And Riley's like, fuck, I have no comeback for this because it's 100% true. And then he's like, fucking stupid Riley. God, you idiot. You fucked it up again. And so he just throws Spike out into the sun. And Spike's like, blanket. And then he throws the blanket out after him. And kind of a dick move, to be honest. I mean, the guy could have died.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Riley really cares. It's not.
I mean, it's murder. Come on. Let's...
Is it though?
Okay, it's not, but still, a little bit dickish.
You're just mad because Spike's your favorite character.
Fair enough. Excuse me. So Riley shows up at the hospital, scares the shit out of Buffy because he comes up behind her and puts his big gorilla hand on her shoulder, and she's like, "Fuck, what the fuck, man? Fucking announce yourself. You're just showing up, grabbing people." And so they kind of hug, and she's relieved to see him, and she's so relieved he's there, in fact, that she directs him to go sit with Dawn while she goes and talks to Mom. And so he's like, fuck, why did I even come here? Every time I come, I get stuck with the little sister. Fuck. So Buffy goes on in to talk with Jocelyn Lehuer Summers, who lets her know that okay, I'm reading too much into this, I'm sure, but Buffy walks in and the doctor and Mom are standing there at the little backlit deal looking at the CAT scan results, which I thought were computerized. But anyway, so as soon as Buffy comes in, the doctor leaves and leaves Joyce to give Buffy the diagnosis, which I found odd that the doctor wouldn't be like, "Oh, this is your daughter. Okay. So here's what we're dealing with. Here's what your mother's dealing with. This is what we're gonna do." He's just like, "Well, okay, your daughter's here. I am not breaking the news to her. Deuces. It's all on you."
Right.
So Joyce has to break the news to her that the doctors with the CAT scan have found, quote, a shadow. And I was like, that's stupid. So but she's lucky because there's an immediate opening in an operation room where they can go in and get a biopsy of said shadow. Couldn't said shadow be a million different things? Like, it seems a little, not risky, that's not the right word. Malpractice-y to just be like, hey, we're going to drill into your head and just jab some shit into where we see this shadow and see if we can pull something out that we can biopsy. But Joyce is like, oh, yes, absolutely. Let me sign the paperwork. And by the way, she must have some killer insurance that's going to let her go like into surgery without, because the insurance hasn't even seen the results of the CAT scan or anything. So,
Right.
she's got some killer insurance, which we know isn't true because she's self-employed. So she's got garbage insurance. But how's it ever?
Well, we don't know that she's self-employed.
I thought she runs the gallery.
I don't. Okay, I'll buy that. I don't know that it's ever specified that she owns the gallery, but I'll go
maybe
with
that's
that.
just something. I don't know why, but maybe I'm wrong. All these years, I just assumed the gallery was her. Okay, maybe.
Right. I mean, she, like, it holds such an important spot over even her own children that it would seem that maybe it probably is hers.
Well, I remember in the first season when she was, leaving all the time, and she'd always be like, honey, I have to go to the gallery. I have to finish setting it up, like when they first moved to town and stuff. And I've got so much unpacking left to do there. And I don't know. I just always assumed the gallery was hers, but maybe it's not. So yeah, they're going to do this. They're going to do this weird exploratory biopsy surgery on, quote, a shadow. So we cut to the magic box, and there's just a bunch of hardcore sex going on, like full frontal nudity. It's crazy weird. It's a shocking twist, to go from that really deep emotional scene just right into like up close anal. It's strange.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It is really weird. No, the Scoobies are still looking for information on Glory. They're trying to find anything they can find. Origins, weaknesses, just a mention of who she might be or anything, and they're like pouring through books. And at one point, yeah, I think it's this scene. Yeah. At one point, Anya tells Xander, she's just like, because he's like, oh, fuck, more reading? Like, this is what we always do. And she's like, just do like I do. Sit down and turn pages and look busy.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah, that sounds like me in high school. So then Tara pops up and says, what if we're wasting our time? And everybody's like, thank you for finally bringing that up. No. She's like, what if, like these books cover like demons and sorcerers and, creatures of the night and shit like that. Like, what if these books don't cover what she is? And Giles is like, huh, you would think with my very large IQ, I would have thought that. Oh, wait. Oh, fuck, I think it's, well, maybe it's the next magic box scene. the sweet ass line he gives to Xander when Xander walks in and says, "Aren't I right, Giles?"
Oh yeah, no, I think that's the next magic box scene.
Okay. Just remind me if I'm okay. So anyway, Giles is like, "Okay, what do you mean?" And Tara's like, "Well, what if she's not any of those things? And what if she's older than these books and older maybe even than language?" And then Giles, it kind of all, and then, well, Willow says, "Yeah, the orb of, what was it? The anal orb of destruction or something like that."
No, it's the Dagon sphere.
Okay, so not even close.
Well, I'm pretty sure no show we cover ever on this podcast is going to have something called the anal sphere of destruction. I'm just going to put that out there right now.
Okay, but can we agree, that it should?
That there should be a show that has an object called the anal sphere of destruction?
Destruction, yes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. That's good enough for me.
And can we agree that the Dagon sphere would destroy your anus?
Oh, yeah,
Oh yeah, 100% it would.
It's like the size of a softball. So yeah, your shit's
Yeah.
getting your shit. You're definitely going in for surgery afterwards.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So, by the way, never mind. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. Have you seen those weird chicks that anally fuck dildos that look like dragon dicks?
No, I have not.
No, I'm not being funny. And
No, I know you're not making things up. I know they exist. I have not personally ever seen it.
Well, I did not know such a thing existed till a few months ago, and I was informed of it, and I was like, bullshit. So I was given a link. There are dildo manufacturers. I was trying to think of a better phrase to use, but they're dildo manufacturers who make
sex toy purveyors.
Okay, so there are sex toy purveyors out there who make dongs or whatever you want to call it, some weird ones. And these particular one I saw was like a what if there were dragons, and what if a dragon had a dick. And this chick was cramming it up her shit chute, okay, to the base. And I was like, she's died. She's just passed away on film. Because anyway, it just fucked me up. And I was like, I don't see how that. The survival rate has to be none, 0. Like, I don't get it. Anyway, sorry, just had to go there.
Hey, sometimes when the thoughts enter your head, you don't need to let them out. Just FYI.
See, I was always told to just let it out. So I was lied to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
or perhaps a better explanation. You weren't lied to, but perhaps maybe we should stop and think about the thoughts that are in our head. And before we say them, we ask ourselves, is this really the time or place to let these thoughts out?
Well, the problem...
And then move on from there.
The problem with that, though, James, is that this podcast is pretty much the time or place to say anything that's utterly insane. So
that's fair. That's fair.
I'm not sure that advice will help me curtail my weird shit. So
That's fair.
Man, I am coffee today. Are you creamer?
I'll cream you. What?
Oh, whoa.
What?
So where was I? Oh yeah, so
dragon dicks, I believe.
Yeah, that's when Giles realizes, Willow kind of helps him realize that the Dagon sphere that they discovered was created to ward against, quote, something that cannot be named.
Right.
So that's when Giles was like, "Oh shit, Terry, you're right. Why do they need me for? Like, I could just fuck back to England, and
I
apparently
can just fuck back off to England and get some of that danger and pussy I was talking about back in the first episode.
right. Like, what was her name? Oh, she got killed. Did she? Yeah.
No,
Yes.
Olivia? No, Olivia? No, she just never showed up again.
Yeah, she was, well, Giles is kind of a hit it and quit it kind of guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. She probably tried to show up, and Giles was like, "No, been there, done that. You can feel free to fuck right off."
You can fuck right off back, all the way back to England.
Right. He was like, "No. I've already been in there. You can fuck right off back to England."
Oh, come on. I know, it's like a 12-hour flight, but
Yeah.
take your ass all the way back to England. You can't even stay here like overnight.
Right.
Fuck off back to England. Oh shit, that's fucking rotten, man. So, wow. So they kind of realize that she probably predates language itself too, and he's like, they're all like, well, fuck. Now what are we gonna, how are we gonna research her or figure out anything about her now? And Giles is like, well, I don't know, but eventually she'll probably show herself. And Giles turns around, and who's standing right in the middle of the magic box? Glory.
Oz.
Glory,
Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah.
Glory, hallelujah. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry. So, wait a minute. Did we skip I think we skipped a scene.
Nope,
Well, it's probably on me.
Nope, we're good.
Yeah. What about? Oh, yes, you did. Okay, you did do it. It was in the cold open. I forgot. Okay. So, I don't know how I forgot that. So he, she doesn't know who any of the Scoobs are. They don't know who she is, and she goes, "I want these things," and Giles is like, "Okay," and he takes them, and they go up to the register, and he checks her out, gives her a receipt, takes the cash, bada bing, she leaves, and totally without incident. Except,
and Giles comes back over to everyone else, and he's like, "She could literally be anywhere."
Yeah, and she leaves without incident, but she does have tuberculosis. So the entire everyone in the magic box is now TB positive.
Right. Because we live in RFK's America.
Right.
And vaccines are no longer a thing.
They will now all die of consumption.
Right. How did he die? Dysentery.
Exactly. How did he die, Daddy? Legionnaire's disease. Didn't we eradicate that in the 1790s? Well, we did. But then RFK came. And he saved us from our stupidity of health and science. Anyway, sorry. So we cut to the hospital, and we meet a really shitty doctor who's like he's just a really shitty doctor. He comes and sets Buffy down, and he's like, "Yeah, your mom's got a brain tumor. Probably gonna die. I don't know. There's some things we can do. We'll see. We'll see if the budget's there for the next episode." No, he is a shitty doctor. You know, he's like one of those doctors who's probably like really good at being a doctor, but really bad at being a human. And
well, and that's essentially what we get in like the rest of this scene because Ben shows up and is like, lies to the doctor and is like, hey, they need you over in wherever.
Would you like to just take the fuck over?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was actually going to kick it over to you. Okay, I'll finish this scene. But yeah, he does. Ben shows up and he's like, "Hey," she's like, "Thanks," and he's like, "Yeah, he's a really good doctor, but he's not. Basically, he doesn't have any kind of bedside manner." And he's like, "But she is in good hands, doctor-wise. He's a great doctor." And so they kind of have a little chit chat, and he's like, "Okay, well, that's all I'm paid for, so I'm gonna fuck off now." And she's like, "See you at catering," and he bails. Then we cut back to the magic box to a phenomenal one-liner from Giles, and I'm gonna throw it to you, James.
I'm actually why don't you go ahead and tell me what the one-liner is, because I don't seem to have it here, so I'm not sure.
It wasn't massive. The Scoobs walk into the magic box, and let's see, Xander is talking to the girls, and I can't really remember exactly what the conversation was about, but he says something. He goes da 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 da, and he goes, aren't I right, Giles? And Giles goes, I'm almost certain you're not, but to be fair, I wasn't listening. And I don't know, it was hilarious. I burst out laughing.
I do remember that line. So we cut back to the magic box, and Anya's going through the receipts, and she comes across the receipt that for what Giles sold to Glory, and she starts to panic, and she's like yelling, "Hey, hey, hey!" And then the rest of the Scoobs come, Giles and Tara and Willow and Xander come running over, and she calls Giles stupid, and Xander's like, remember we had that list of employer things that aren't acceptable to say, and he's like, that was number 5. And,
yeah. Well, Giles answers by saying, like, he's like, how about I retort with a firing?
Yeah. So she points out that the items that Giles sold to this girl should never be sold together because they're all dangerous together and can be used for a transmogrification spell. And
a Sobekian transmogrification spell.
Yes. And Giles is like, well, that spell's been lost for centuries, and then he starts to go on and say that, the young lady that bought them would need to have enormous pot, and like he drifts off as it suddenly occurs to all of them that they sold this stuff to fucking
glory, yeah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Okay. We're done.
Okay.
And they all realize simultaneously that woman must have been the new big bad that Buffy had told them about. So then we cut to
we cut back to reality. Oh, there goes Rabbity.
There's gravity. Wait, where was I? We cut to
Riley takes
Riley and Dawn are at an amusement park.
Well, they're at a strip club, which is really weird and inappropriate.
Well, I mean, that counts as an amusement park, right?
What I mean. They call it an amusement park in the script, but It's a strip
Right.
bar. And Dawn's like, Mr.
And
Riley.
Dawn's definitely not old enough to ride the rides.
No, and she's like, Mr. Riley, isn't this deeply inappropriate? And he's like up on stage dry humping one of the strippers. And he's like, no, it's fine. And she's like, it's just Riley.
Right. And then he's like, no, it's fine. And then he's like, but you should stay in school. Otherwise, you're going to end up here. And I'll be dry humping you.
Don't do drugs, Dawn.
Don't do drugs, Dawn. And stay in school.
That little star.
Crack is whack.
The more you know.
The more you know. Yeah. No, so they're at the park and they're staring at the carousel and Riley's trying to comfort her, even though Buffy specifically said, hey, Dumblefuck, take my little sister to school. And Riley was like,
meet me at the magic box when she gets out and I'll take it from there. So he's like, okay, so drop Dawn off at school. All right, gotcha. And then he's like, come on, Dawn, let's go to the park.
Right, and get ice cream.
Okay, you weird, creepy, like, what the fuck? Did you put lewds in her fucking ice cream? What a weirdo.
Wow, I didn't go that far. Calm down, man.
It's just like, dude, how hard is it? Drive sister school. 3 words. Or wait a minute.
Drive sister.
I think it's just walk sister school because I don't think he's got a car.
I don't know.
Because the only time we saw him drive, he was driving Giles, BMW Dub.
Is B-Dub?
And he lives in a storefront.
He lives in a storefront, right? He lives in an old Domino's. Like what?
Yep.
So yeah, they're at the park and they're sitting by the carousel and she's eating ice cream. Well, there's ice cream melting in her cup, and he's trying to make her feel better about her mom. And Dawn's talking about how when they first moved to Sunnydale, Joyce had her birthday at this park and rented the carousel for like an hour, and everybody rode it for an hour, even though a fucking carousel ride only lasts like 5 minutes. Right. But are you riding a carousel or doing the Soldier Boy?
Both.
So then Dawn tries to make Riley feel better by comparing him to Angel.
By completely trashing his fucking emotions and his self-esteem.
Right. And she's like, I think you've been really good for Buffy, because when Buffy was with Angel, she was always crying and she never gets that worked up over you and, this and that. And like, I get that this is supposed to like, I get what the intention here is to like, be like, oh, like she obviously doesn't care the same way about Riley, but people need to realize that like getting worked up over someone in a relationship does not equal like that being a
healthy relationship.
A healthy relationship necessarily.
Well,
like
Riley, it's like, do we have to like? Everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Riley. I mean, come on, I do the sign every fucking week, but
right.
This is like the third. I want to say like this is like the 8th episode that we have shit on Riley and his feelings this season. Right. And it's like, I'm waiting for him, like, as she's saying this stuff to him, he's just like pulling, and she's still talking, and he puts it in his mouth and just blows the top of his fucking head off. And she just keeps going, though, and keeps saying, and she doesn't really, also, Riley, she said you had a small penis, and
right.
and you had strange bumps where there shouldn't be any. And
right.
And she told mom that she hated.
And I overheard her telling mom that you spent 5 hours trying to find her G spot, and
but you had misspelled it, and you were looking for the Q spot, and so we don't know. We think something's
Don't
wrong with you, Riley, and
don't even know how that works.
we don't feel comfortable with you coming to our home anymore.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, like I get the intention of the scene, but also like this is working under the premise that like, well, Buffy got so worked up over Angel because she loved Angel and cared more about Angel, and like getting worked up over someone in a relationship is not always a good sign.
It's
Like,
probably not ever a good sign. Like
well,
if you are, quote, as Dawn says, always crying,
right.
then I don't think that's ever, like, literally ever a good, healthy thing
Exactly.
as part of a relationship. So
Right.
I'd be like,
And,
well, like, why didn't Riley should have been like, well, at least I don't fucking make her cry all the goddamn time, and it's not
exactly.
the end of the fucking world with me, you know? I mean,
Exactly.
what, act like you got some sense, you little bitch. And then he should have, or sorry, go ahead.
And then also, like, on top of that, like, Riley should also realize that Buffy and Angel was a high school relationship.
Yeah.
Like, those are always tumultuous, like, because it's fucking high school.
Well, it was a high school girl and a pedophile.
Okay, let's not get crazy.
We're
not gonna have any Angel slander here, all right?
Oh, we can have Spike slander and be like, I could never accept him again after that scene. He's just a motherfucker. Meanwhile, your fucking
Well, he shouldn't have fucked Buffy's mother then.
well, your knight in shining armor is a literal pedophile, and you cannot deny that he is.
Is Buffy of legal age?
No, not when they met.
But when they
Did they?
Yeah.
In the first or second season?
On her 18th birthday.
Oh, okay. But still, he was fucking third basing her at least when she was underage. And he's 20 something years old?
That's what Romeo and Juliet laws are for.
I'm very uncomfortable right now. So I'm just saying. Okay.
No, you're 100. You're okay. So like, I'm gonna say you're 100% right. Like, I wouldn't go so far as to be like, oh, Angel's a pedophile. But yes, there are definite problems with the Buffy Angel relationship in regards to the fact that she was, 16 when he first ever even saw her, and he was 200 plus years old. Of course, there's major issues.
Right, but we can put that aside. I was just fucking around with that. My point.
No, I know.
My point of the scene is, it just hit me, like as we were saying all this stuff. Riley should have fucked off, like the first episode of this season, for his own fucking mental health and his own self-esteem, because he has just been so used and abused all season. Like,
okay, well, you know what? Let's side table that discussion for a couple episodes from now, when some of that supposedly comes into play.
Okay, well, I'm just saying,
and we'll talk about it then, because I strongly disagree with you.
Okay. But I'm not talking 2 episodes from now. I'm talking right now. Like right now, episode 8, with this discussion with Dawn and everything that's happened, he should be like, you know what? This bitch does not love me. I already know this because I've already said it to one of her friends.
But this is what I'm talking about, and this is going to play into a couple episodes from now. He has no reason. There's no reason for him to be all fucking in his emo feels about how Buffy feels about him. There's been no suggestion at all outside of from him that Buffy doesn't love him.
Wow. Wow, we're gonna have a nice one in a couple episodes. If I couldn't more strongly disagree if my name was strongly disagree.
Yeah.
So
that's why I said, like, we can talk about this in a few episodes.
All right, we'll table
because,
it. Tabled, put a pin in it.
Because I strongly disagree with, and I'm going to tell you what, the episode where we're going to talk about it, and I know you know what episode I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, because of the way things go down in that episode and the way they try to spin things, gets that episode a fucking 1 from me.
Wow. So okay, well, we disagree on some stuff. I thought we were going to roll through this season and be pretty much, so far we have been in the previous 7 episodes, we have been pretty much on the same page for everything. Yeah. And I thought, well, this is going to be one of those seasons where there's just not a lot to disagree on, but wow, guess there is. And I'm in fucking Camp. How the fuck did I get in Camp Riley? Fuck! I hate him. Damn it! All right, I'm with you. I hate him. Fuck him. It's piece of shit.
So then we cut to the magic box, and Buffy wants to use magic to help her mom. And go ahead. What?
I hate to keep breaking in, dude, and dragging this out, but
no, go ahead. That's what we're here for.
This whole scene annoyed me because they have literally used magic or some type of sorcerer magic. We'll just call it all magic. They have used magic for fucking everything in this show. Literally. Oh, spoiler alerts, they're also going to use magic for resurrections later. Or have they already done that? Anyway, no. They have used magic and will use magic for literally everything in this show. But for some reason, Buffy's mom has a little boo-boo in her head, and there's just nothing that this all-powerful, all-encompassing world of magic can do for her. We're not even really going to bother looking. There might be a fuck monk out there somewhere who has some special ass magic that could, like, he could bust a big fucking fart on her. You know what I'm saying? The way this,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
And I'm like, but they're all just like, go fuck yourself. And she's like, and then she accepts. She's just like, okay, you're right. There's nothing we could possibly do.
Do you want to
have to put it in the hands of Jesus, and then they all pray.
Hey, do you want to fucking take over?
I do. No, I'm just
but you're right. You're right. She wants to use magic, and of course Willow, being her best friend, is like, oh, I'll help any way I can. And then Tara and Giles are like, no, fuck you both. The magical and the medical, you never the twain shall meet. So
like, since when?
So and if we tried, then it could just make Mama Summers worse. So both of you feel free to fuck all the way off with that idea.
Yeah, but even Willow, when she's all like, of course I'll help, but even she's kind of like, but just FYI, we're fucked. Like, there's nothing we could possibly come up with to deal with this situation. We can turn people into lizard monsters and vice versa. We can create robots that are so fucking human-like that you would never know they were robots. But we can't get rid of the shadow from your mom's boo-boo.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So then Anya reveals that Giles sold Glory the ingredients that she needs to make a monster. And Buffy fucks off in search of glory, despite everyone being like, she's probably going to fuck your shit up again.
She literally pushed, like, she literally curb stomped you the last time you guys met. And the only reason you're alive is because you jumped out a window and a building fell on her.
Right.
But it would probably, and she's all like, well, that won't happen again. And they're like, why not? And she's like, because this time I'm ready. And they're like, are you though? Like, in the last few episodes, have you done anything? By the way, Joey Ramone kicked your ass last week. So
Right.
do you really think you're ready for, you know? And she's like, oh yeah. And they're like, okay, we trust you.
Right.
She goes.
Yeah. So then we cut to the Sunnydale Zoo, which I don't think we've seen since The Pack in season 1.
Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even put it together in my head that this was the Sunnydale Zoo. Huh, cool. Nice to recall. Yeah. I don't think
even though there's a big sign above the entrance that said Sunnydale Zoo, you didn't put that together, huh?
I thought it said Sunnydale Kazoo.
Oh,
I thought she
right.
was at the kazoo store.
The famous Sunnydale Kazoo Emporium. Right. Okay. I gotcha.
That's where I thought she was. Because I thought, she's thinking ahead. She's going to get a couple of kazoos.
Right.
She's going to go to Glory and be like, you can't fuck with me, bitch. And Glory's going to be like, why not? She's going to go.
Right.
And Glory's going to start going. Like, she's going to have no control over her own body.
Right.
And then Buffy wins.
Buffy wins, yeah.
That's
Buffy starts playing Yankee Doodle Dandy on the kazoo, and
Yeah.
Glory's just like, I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy.
No, the honest answer is I was looking down at the time, and when I looked up, I didn't see the shot of Sunnydale Zoo. When I looked up, she was standing in the glass looking through to the snake, and so that's why.
Were you looking down trying to find your little nubbin?
My button on a fur coat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Okay. Did you ever see that scene from, I believe it was Hangover 2? when the monkey is... That's one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history. Just saying.
Oh man. So yeah, we're at Sunnydale Zoo, and Glory liberates a cobra from its enclosure.
Oh, and it was so rubber. Like, it was so.
Oh yeah. Like, well, the scenes where she's holding it, like, obviously behind the glass, it was a real cobra.
Yeah.
And then she breaks the glass.
There's a trained cobra handler putting it into that vase. Right. So that's a real cobra. But anytime she's near it or touching it, it's not even. It's literally like one of those store-bought from the 5 and dime, like rubber cobras. I was like, oh.
We'll get into effects quality here in a minute.
Yes, we will.
And and then she performs her little magic spell with Minion Dreg.
What was the magic incantation? Do you remember it?
Not off the top of my head, but I can tell you what it was.
Mecha Lecca High.
Mecha Heiny Ho.
Yep.
And then she took this amulet that she wears all the time, and she waved it over, and she went doody 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 doo
doody doody doo. And what's that from, James?
Bozo.
Goddamn right, son.
Yep. Wizzo the clown on Bozo.
So many people I grew up with that have no fucking idea what I'm talking about when I talk about Bozo, Cookie, Wizzo, the fucking grand prize game, for fuck's sake.
Because somehow you must have been the only one getting Chicago television in Indiana.
It was on WGN. That's a fucking cable station.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I've just always found it weird that nobody. Yeah, it was just dude. My goal as a child was to somehow be taken to Chicago so I could be a contestant on the grand prize
game.
God, I wanted to play that game. You know what? Here's something else that's useless and a waste of time. Nothing used to piss me off more than he would pick some little drooling idiot out of the fucking crowd to be on the game. And they would go up there and he would hand them the ping pong ball and they would miss the first fucking bucket. And he would say, "Oh, you little idiot." And he'd give him the fucking ping pong ball again and say, "Give it another shot." And he would miss the first bucket again, which, mind you, was 3.2 inches away from his hand.
He literally could have, the kids literally could have like reached their hand out and placed it gently into the bucket.
And they would miss it.
Right.
Every fucking time. And then even Bozo would look at Cookie like, "Well, now what do we do? Because we gotta kill like 10 minutes here. And this little fucking dreck couldn't hit the fucking water if he fell out of a goddamn boat. So now what do we do?" And Cookie's like, "I guess I'll just strip for him." And he starts taking his clothes off.
Right.
Yeah.
And Cookie had that like Hulk Hogan hairdo, like the bald in the middle and like the mop top around, and then he would just be like,
he had a very, very heavy cigar smoking habit.
Yeah. Do you remember? Nobody ever does, and I don't. Since you were apparently watching Chicago television there in Indiana, did you ever watch a show?
WGN. It was a cable station.
Did you ever watch a show called Zoobly Zoo?
Refresh my. Give me some.
It was a show with Ben Vereen. You know who Ben Vereen was?
That sounds very fucking familiar.
And it took place in a zoo, but it was like live actors in like animal makeup.
You know, I might have seen a couple of times bits and pieces of that, because now I know that name, and plus the people in animal makeup stuff that's coming. Yeah. Now, it wasn't like a normal everyday watch for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So anyway, Glory performs her little magic spell with minion drag, and at that point Buffy shows up and proceeds to get her ass handed to her again. And then the large pot that Glory placed the snake into begins to shake and vibrate and explodes, and there is a half human, half snake monster in there that Glory then sends off to locate the key. Now, the quality of this snake person hybrid is worse than Toho man in rubber costume Godzilla movies from the 70s. But the ironic part is there's scenes where they have to CGI the snake, and the CGI looks fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That CGI snake looks fucking phenomenal.
Man in rubber suit does not.
Yeah.
Man in rubber suit looks like a saber-toothed fucking crotch cricket. And it's
Man in rubber suit only works in Godzilla movies for some reason.
And is Asian and doesn't speak English because is also a bad actor inside rubber suit.
So then we cut to the magic box, and Riley shows up looking for Buffy, and Xander gets all up in Riley's ass about destroying the vampire crypt, which, fuck you, Xander. Who the fuck cares?
Because Riley really needs Xander.
Right, like crawl out of the dude's crotch for a minute.
Like yeah, you weren't there to be a liability. Fuck, I really risked something there.
Right. And then they all tell Riley that Buffy went after Glory, and he's all like, why did you let her go by herself? it's dangerous. And then they're all like, what the fuck are you going to do? You fucking loaf of Wonder Bread? Jesus fucking Christ.
You're as bad as Xander now, you fucking no power having fucking big fucking goofy fucking fuck.
And then Giles is quick to be like, listen, white bread, you know that there's really no let when it comes to Buffy. She just does whatever the fuck she wants to do. So
And then-
sit your ass down.
And then what's Riley's what's the word I'm looking for? Like, what is his answer to this? What does he do?
He fucking leaves.
He fucks off and he's like, well, let me know if she needs me. And I'm like, how the fuck are we gonna let you know? Because we don't have cell phones, and we don't even know where you live.
Right.
I found it strange that he's like, well, let me know if she needs me. And then he doesn't even go home, FYI.
Right. And right before he does fuck off and is all like, well, if she needs me, Xander once again is like, hey, Buffy, she's all upset about her mom and she needs something, physical that she can fight. And then he's like, what's your excuse for being a reckless douchebag? And it's like, Xander, shut the fuck up.
Like, even though he doesn't have superpowers, Riley will still push your shit in, Xander. So you might want to fill that hole, that noise hole, with cock, because it's a cock holster.
Right. It's a cock holster. So then we cut to Sunnydale Memorial, and Buffy is because I should have mentioned that after getting her ass swiftly handed to her by Glory in their previous scene, Buffy fucked right off out of there.
And Glory is so
phased.
Unfazed by Buffy. She's not even going. She's like, I'm not gonna chase. I don't care. Fuck her.
Right.
I can kill her in 32 milliseconds when I choose to.
So we cut to Sunnydale Memorial, and Buffy calls Giles. Like, she's icing herself up, and she's like, "Hey, G, take care of Dawn. I'm gonna chill here with my mom's." And she stays
unconscious. Like,
yeah, mom's like,
I gotta stay here with my mom, and she's like,
right. Mom's like got a big hole in her head from the brain biopsy, and she's just drooling. She's like,
they like stuck a muffler in the hole, and it's like got fucking steam coming out and shit. Like, I gotta stay here with mom.
Right. So she stays with Mama Summers, and the doctor shows up again, and she's like, and the doctor's like, we did the biopsy on the shadow, and your mom's got a brain tumor, and we don't know if it's operable or not.
What's the likelihood that they got these biopsy results back already?
I don't worry about stuff like that because we're never really given clear time frames for anything in these shows.
Fair enough. I'm just saying, with all the fucking medical shit I've had done, I can't even get a fucking pissed urine results back in less than like 3 days. But they're like, yep, we went into that shadow, we pulled out some tumor. That bitch got a goddamn tumor.
Right. And like he tells her, it's, if it's even basically he's very reassuring with her. Like, even if it's not operable, there's options, and 1 in 3 people recover from this type of thing, yada yada, blah blah blah.
Wait,
so we
did that scene a long time ago.
No.
Yeah, that's when Ben comes in and says, "Yo, fuck off, bro." And
hold on. Xander, Riley, Giles, Buffy.
Buffy calls Giles from the hospital to tell him to take care of Dawn while she stays with her mother.
Oh, I shoved my notes all together. That's why. So, you feel free to fuck off. And don't interrupt me again.
Now you're starting to act like me. I like it. Listen, if you ever interrupt me again, I will find you and kill you.
I will find you and kill you.
I have special
Uh,
set of skills.
I have a special set of skills that involves getting your address
Driving
from someone in your family.
driving 2 hours to find.
Right. Right. So we cut to, I think this is right. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I know you will.
I will.
We cut to so like it's well no, let me think. Okay. So we cut to, I was gonna do a long thing, but I'll just do this real quick.
Okay.
We cut back to Willie's place.
There you go.
And Riley is there to drink away his worries again.
After having the Scoobies, let me know if she needs me.
Right.
If it's a life or death thing, you let me know. And they're like, oh, where can we reach you? And he's like, oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm going drinking.
Refresh my memory. Did we did talk about the scene in a previous episode where he was at Willie's drinking and he talked to that Sandy vampire, right?
Yep.
I think something I forgot to mention when we first did that is that this vampire Sandy is a callback to when Vampire Willow from Doppelgangland showed up.
She turned her into a vampire.
Yes, she turned her into a vampire. Like that's quite a callback for.
Yeah. And also she's a junkie.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Right. So Sandy shows up again, and her and Riley like share an exchange, and then we cut back to the hospital, and Buffy's sitting on the hospital bed next to Mama Summers, and the doctor's talking to Joyce about the tumor, and Joyce, reacts as one would expect. She's all sad, and of course. And then we cut to like an alley area, and Riley and Sandy are alone now, and Sandy, they're being very seductive with one another, and Sandy kisses his neck, and then she pulls back and vamps out, and then she bites him, and he is in noticeable pain, and he relaxes into it and closes his eyes like he's enjoying it, and then pulls away, and we get a shot of Sandy looking stunned, staring at him, and then she proceeds to burst into dust, and he has staked her. And then
that scene made no sense to me.
And then, well, it will in a couple episodes.
It's still weird. Anyway, I don't mean, but him, yeah, okay.
So then we get some shots of that snake demon thing, like going all over Sunnydale looking for the key, and yada yada. And then it shows up. It crashes the magic box.
It can't use it has to smash the fucking window.
It smashes through the window right after Buffy gets there to pick up Dawn. And it goes right for Dawn, and Dawn screams. And Michelle Trachtenberg could have been quite the little scream queen. She got a set of lungs on her.
Yeah, she's dead. Who cares?
Oh, wow. Wow. And As she's standing there shrieking her little heart out, the snake demon turns around and hightails it away, and we hear the others like, "Oh, why was the snake scared of Dawn?" We of course know that the snake wasn't scared of Dawn. It had found its target and was now going to return to glory. Buffy takes off after it, and just outside of Glory's phenomenal apartment, Buffy kills the snake demon, and we cut to the hospital. And what's going on there, Jeremy?
Fire, death, destruction.
Everyone in the hospital is on fire, and
Except
they're
the doctors
fucking.
Ignoring. Well, all the doctors are partaking in anal, and
Yes.
everyone else is on fire. No.
Yes.
Joyce tells Buffy, "Okay, bring in Dawn. I'll go ahead and tell her the truth. I guess we can't lie to her anymore." And Buffy's like, "Can't we though?" And Joyce is like, "We could, but let's tell the little bitch." So they bring her in, and Buffy kind of watches from the door as she's breaking the news. And then Riley arrives wearing a turtleneck. Like, wouldn't that set immediate alarms off? Has he ever worn a turtleneck before? Like, if I was Buffy, I'd have been like, whoa. Who bit you?
Right, like I would have been like, nice turtleneck sweater you're wearing in the middle of California.
In 2000.
Right.
Like, I don't think anyone's worn a turtleneck since about 95, you fucking weirdo.
I do. I wear them during the winter.
No.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I believe you.
Well, you said no.
Where did I leave off? Oh, yeah, so he's got his turtleneck on, and I'm just saying I've never seen him wear a turtleneck, so yeah. But she doesn't seem to notice, and she's just like, he's like, "Oh, go ahead." He takes her in his arms, and he's like, "Let it all out," and she's like, "No, I can't, because I got to be strong for them, and if I start crying now, I'll never stop." And then Joyce calls for her, and she goes on in there, and he goes to like caress her face, but she just kind of turns away from it, oblivious, and goes on into the room, and he's just kind of left standing in the hallway with his dick in his hands. And credits.
Yes.
And that is, thank God, the end of this episode.
Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to play? I don't really have any behind the scenes for this one. It's nothing, like, there's really nothing
Like, who would
interesting, like the Sandy thing I talked about, which I did think that was kind of interesting. I'm like, that's like, but that's kind of the stuff that makes this show so good. Like, it's a little thing, but at the same time, it's like, that's quite a callback to like the second season of the show,
Hi, I'm Candy. Of course you are.
Of course you are. Would you like to play everyone's favorite game, Body Count?
Ooh, God, did anybody even die in this? Well, the snake. Two.
Yes, two. Sandy and the snake.
Oh shit! I'd forgotten about Sandy.
Which I didn't mention in the scene, but Buffy beats the snake to death.
Yeah, with her, yes. She tries to hook it with a big chain, and it goes limp, and she drops it. She's like, "All right, it's dead," but it was just playing possum. So she gets on top of it, and it shows it from multiple angles and pulled back. It's like she beat that thing to death for like half an hour.
Yeah.
Like, she just beat the fucking brakes off of this thing. And I was like, damn, okay. It's, wow. Could have owed her money or something. I don't know.
Right. Our music this week, just our original score by Thomas Wanker, and also Love Montage, also composed by Thomas Wanker. Jeremy,
Yes,
could you
sir.
please tell me and our illustrious audience, how many spawns of Sobek do you give this episode?
Man, this is one of those tough episodes. No, it's a 1. It's just a 1. I was initially was going to give it when it first ended. When I was watching it, I was like, that's about a 2. But as we've gone and revisited it now, it's a 1. It's a mess. There's lots of dumb scenes. The fucking snake is dumb. It doesn't make sense. Like, why wouldn't she create, like, why does it have to be this big, gnarly snake looking thing to go? Because it's not like she's trying to send, it's not like she said, okay, snake creation thingy, go find me the key and kill it, or go find me the key and kill anyone around it and bring it to me. She's just like, go find it and then come back and tell me where it's at. So why couldn't it could have been a fucking bunny rabbit that no one would pay any attention to, or it could have been a little glowing fart, dust or something that no one would notice. But no, it has to be this giant, crazy looking fucking snake man. So it's just stupid. The only saving grace in this whole episode is Claire Kramer, because I love her as Glory, and I think Glory is probably one of my favorite big bads of all time in the show, in Buffy. I just love the character and what she did with it, and just making her just not only pretentious and self-absorbed, but batshit crazy. It's fucking hilarious. And
well, go ahead. I'll tell you. I'll mention it when I give my final thoughts. So go ahead, wrap it up so I can talk.
See, now you're finally we're only 6 seasons into this show, including Angel, and you're finally starting to get it. You're finally starting to act like I do. So fuck, what was I even? So Claire Kramer is like the one saving grace of the fucking episode, because I love her and she's great. Other than that, I don't really have anything positive to say, and that's why I was like, well, it's got to be a 1 then, because it's not even important really to the only important thing about it to the overall story could have been, the key was discovered, but Buffy kills it, so Glory still doesn't know. So there's no saving. There's nothing important about it. So it's a 1 and done, and that's all I got to say about that. James,
yes.
How many bladders full of urine do you give this episode?
Do you have to pee?
Maybe. And tell our illustrious audience what you think about it and how you agree with me that it's a piece of fucking dog shit.
Well, first I'm going to say you shouldn't have tipped your hat that you have to pee, because I am now about to proceed to talk for another 40 minutes about this episode.
You probably will too.
No, I'm going to be pretty quick and concise. Once again, I'm with you. This is a 1. It's literally the one thing, like you just said, the one thing that they could have made interesting is, the key's been discovered. They didn't. Buffy solved that problem right away. And it actually manages to not be a fucking 0 for 2 reasons. A, like you said, Claire Kramer. This Glory is and what I was going to say before, and said I'll save it for my review, watching this episode, it occurred to me that Glory is a weird combination in all the good ways of the worst of Cordelia and the worst of Anya.
And crazy like fucking Drusilla.
Sprinkled with crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a great
Does it
character.
really well.
Yeah, she does it really well. One of my favorite big bads from across the Buffyverse, including Angel.
Yeah.
So that saved it from being a zero, and the other thing that saved it from being a zero was something that they could have integrated into any number of better episodes. Was the reveal of what Glory is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because otherwise, this episode does nothing to push the story along, except for the reveal of what Glory is. For not even what
we as audience knew.
Right. So the reveal to the gang, but also kind of the reveal, and we still don't even know what Glory is. We just now know that she's predates even the written, even language itself.
Yeah.
Spoken and
quite
written.
Frankly, at the end of this season, we don't like they never like make it like this is exactly like we basically kind of know what she is and where she came from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not,
Yeah,
you know what
right.
I mean?
But the minor reveals in this that she is an entity that predates both spoken and written language could have been done in any number of better episodes that but for the same token, and we are now 8 episodes into this season, and I've got to tell you, man, season 4 is widely regarded as like a shit season, and so far season 5 has had more not good episodes than season 4 did.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a matter of retrospect, and yeah, I think it's a matter of retrospect, really, because I think if we were doing a first watch through of all this, I think we would still be like, oh yeah, I prefer season 5. even so far.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just, these first 9 episodes, I can safely say I enjoyed rewatching season 4 more than I've enjoyed season 5 so far.
See, this is the first absolute stinker to me in season 5. So,
but like we've handed out several 2s, and to me 2s aren't necessarily good episodes.
No, you're right. I'm trying to think. Like if I compared the first 8 to the first 8 of 4, I think I would still prefer 5, just because I know, and this is the retrospect thing, I know what's to come in both seasons, and I know, and Claire Kramer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah. But yeah, it's it's a 1, like I said, and it only gets a 1, like I said, because of Claire Kramer's performance as Glory, or Glory in general, and then the reveal that Glory's older than both written and spoken language, which again could have.
I always wished they would have. Oh shit! Yeah, never mind. I can't say that.
Which again could have been revealed in any number of better episodes than what this one was. So yeah, it's a 1 for me.
What I was going to say, I'll change up so I can actually say it. I always, then and now, felt like Glory should have been a part of this show to the end. That Glory should have been the big bad for the final 3 seasons, because she's such a powerful and cool character and great actress. And plus, I'm not a big fan of the final end all be all big bad of season 7. So anyway,
I don't know. I disagree in the fact that I think because of how this season ends, I think you needed, like, I think because of how this season ends, having Glory around beyond where she is would have lessened
See,
a
that's what
lot
I'm
of
saying.
things.
I don't think the season should have ended the way I think that final episode of this season should have happened as the final episode of the series.
Oh, I agree. And
And
I think this should have been the end of the series.
absolutely. And that the Glory, would have continued to be the big bad in seasons 5, 6, and 7.
No, I'm saying there shouldn't have been a season 6 and 7. This should have been the end of the series.
Okay, yeah, yes, that would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. Yeah, that would have worked out fine. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, there we go.
But if they were dead set on a 6 and a 7, it should have just yeah. But anyway, all right. Anything else? I don't think so.
Jeremy,
yeah.
Can you tell me about BuffyRevisited.com?
That's some bullshit website where you can get links to all of our horse shit. You can get a link to our YouTube. You can get a link to our email address, which is buffyrevisited@gmail.com. You can get a link to the Facebook page for the podcast. And all of these ways, you can converse with us or each other or no one at all. And we can just continue fucking right off. And that's it in a nutshell.
That is it in a nutshell.
I would like to make an announcement. I am going to go ahead and let everyone know, since he's joined us now in 2 episodes, I would like to let everyone know what Tammy's watcher's name is. Are you ready?
Yeah.
His name is Otis Roscoe.
Otis Roscoe. Okay.
That is he. That is he who
now,
is.
Is Roscoe his last name, or is it just one like Otis Roscoe? Everyone just calls him Otis Roscoe, and no one knows if it's his last name or just
middle name, last name, one run-on name. No one knows.
No one knows. Like how no one knows Tammy's last name. She's just Tammy the Vampire Slayer.
And how no one knows how Roscoe is alive, since he's incredibly stupid.
Okay.
All right. That's all I want to say. Yeah, that's everything, right? That is everything. Well,
that is everything.
Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry for our normal insane antics.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. We'll do them again next week. And next week is going to be what, James? Season 5, episode 9.
Listening to Fear.
And yeah.
I will say, so I've watched ahead, this season. I will say that Listening to Fear does start an uptick in the quality of the season for me.
Does it?
Of the episodes. Yeah.
Does it though?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. All right. Yep. I'll take your word for it.
It does.
All right.
Except for I think it's the episode immediately after Listening to Fear. That's that episode is gonna rate Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
Yeah, which is the episode we were talking about earlier.
That's because all it's about is somebody had to really take a shit, and they were out camping, and that's the whole episode. It's not that great. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. I have been one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
Ta-ta.